The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus appeared to the 11 and said to them, "Go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved. Whoever does not believe will be condemned. These signs will accompany those who believe in my name. They will drive out demons. They will speak new languages. They will pick up serpents with their hands, and if they drink any deadly thing, it will not harm them. They will lay hands on the sick, and they will recover." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I would like to tell you a story about a man who was a murderer, a man who was going around killing people who profess faith in this person named Jesus Christ. And this man was ruthless in his actions. He had no remorse. He was a killing machine. And so as he would ride around from town to town, his one and only thought was to rid the world of these so-called Christians. He was present at the martyrdom, at the very first martyr, St. Stephen, and did nothing other than to watch him die. So then this man, as he's riding to one of the towns, he then is knocked off his horse, literally knocked off his high horse to the ground. And a blinding light shines in his face. And this man crawls out as he hears a voice through the light, "Who are you, sir?" And the voice says, "I am Jesus Christ, whom you are persecuting." Now, what if I told you that this man, who was a murderer, became baptized in the church? Not only was baptized, started to profess faith in Jesus Christ. If that wasn't enough, he wrote letters to different communities professing not only his own faith in Jesus, but how they should live for Jesus. What if I told you that this man became one of the greatest saints the church has ever known, to the point that we still hear his letters at every Sunday Mass and other Masses throughout the year? You would look at me and go, "Well, Father, there's no way that story is true. That's a great story. You tell a good story, but that's no way that actually happened." But it did. This is the story of St. Paul the Apostle. And he began as Saul. But Saul's story ended when he was knocked off that horse. Saul, from that moment on, no longer existed. It was only Paul. But then we can hear this story and think, how did this happen? We have to get at the root of the word conversion, because that is what we celebrate, the conversion of St. Paul. What does that word conversion mean? Convert means to have a sudden yet miraculous change. A change in your life that changes the entire person, it changes your very self. It changes how you think, how you act, how you speak, how you carry yourself. It changes everything about you, to the point where people in your life don't even recognize you anymore. They don't know who this person is, who is standing in front of them and is speaking to them. Our parish shares the name of St. Paul the Apostle. And we're so blessed to have him as our patron, because I like to think that in our own special way, our parish is a parish of conversion. That when people, such as yourself, come through our doors and we sit down in the pews or we go to the different ministries that we offer here, I like to think that we have every opportunity to help you grow in conversion in your own faith. If anyone walks in here and they're not Catholic or questioning the faith or questioning God, I like to think that through the intercession of St. Paul, conversion in their lives may be possible. I like to think that we as a parish of conversion all the more unite ourselves to the witness of St. Paul, because conversion is real. Conversion is possible. Conversions are not stories that we hear about in the Gospels or hear about in the lives of the saints that seem to be in a bygone era that no longer exists. People are being converted each and every day. People like St. Paul, others like other Pauls, are becoming what Christ wants them to be. You may know someone in your life that converted to the faith, someone who is so far away from God, you never thought that they would ever embrace him. Someone that would speak so ill of God, or would speak so against God that you would never think that every word they would speak would lead them to now professing their faith in God with their words. But this is the core of what conversion means. Jesus knew that Paul was in Saul. He needed to bring Paul out. Paul was in there the entire time. But if you think that Paul had it easy, if you think that he just went around talking about Jesus and everyone listened, that could not be that could not be further from the truth. Because we know his reputation. His reputation preceded him. He was a murderer. He would kill people, kill Christians without a second thought. But then what happened is that people saw that this is no longer Saul. This is someone different. This is someone that we've never seen before. The way that this man speaks, the way that he carries himself, is a way that we know that Jesus lives in him. This is Paul. Paul is the one for us that gives us the greatest conversion story in the history of the church. We hear about a man who was so intelligent in the way that he spoke. We don't even remember what he did before his conversion. And then the other beautiful part of this story is that when he was converted, he was blind. He couldn't see because Christ, especially experiencing him, knowing him for the first time, can be overwhelming. You can be blinded by the light, not to be confused with The Weeknd, but you look at me like, he knows that song? But he was literally blinded by the light to the point where he needed to prepare himself to truly experience Christ in his life. For him, it took 3 days. For some, it takes months, even years, for their eyes and their minds and their hearts to be adjusted to Christ's light. But you can see it happening in their lives. You can see changes happening. Because once you experience Christ and you truly welcome him into your life will never be the same. Why would you want it to be the same? You would want to do everything you can to welcome Christ into your life and to bring him into your life in any way that you can. You are on fire because of the love that is within you, his love that is burning within you. May you each and every day, through the intercession of St. Paul, once you do welcome Christ fully and truly into your life, if you haven't already, make it a point to know that each and every day we allow him to change our hearts is a moment of conversion. Conversion never ends. Conversion truly can happen each and every day of our lives if we want it. Because every day is an opportunity to know that Christ's light is always in our lives, that through his light we may see him. And then finally, the final part of the story, as we can see here in our beautiful St. Paul statue, we see he's holding a sword. The greatest irony, but also the story how it comes full circle, is that the man who raised his sword to kill countless Christians was in fact murdered by a sword, became a martyr himself. That is how the story of St. Paul on earth ends. But his story was just beginning. We hear it every single time we hear to the Romans, to the Corinthians, to the Colossians. St. Paul lives on in his readings, and he gives us exactly what we need to follow Jesus. May we, each and every day, convert ourselves to Jesus, whom calls us just like he called Paul. Praise be Jesus Christ through the intercession of St. Paul the Apostle, now and forever.